warehouse windows as Maya Chin pressed herself against the cold concrete wall, her breath coming in short bursts. 3 months into her bounty hunting career, and she was already questioning every life choice that had led her here. The tip had been solid. Dmitry Volkov wanted for armed robbery, hiding out in this abandoned textile factory on the east side. The bounty was $15,000. Enough to finally pay off her training debt and prove to her former police academy instructors that dropping out hadn't been a mistake. Maya adjusted her grip on her taser, checking the doorway one more time. The intel said Volkov was alone. In and out. Simple. She should have known nothing was ever simple. The warehouse was a maze of rusted machinery and rotting fabric rolls. Her footsteps echoed despite her best efforts at stealth. Maya moved through the shadows, following the sound of movement from the upper level. Her heart pounded as she climbed the metal stairs, each step groaning under her weight. The office at the top was dimly lit by a single hanging bulb. Through the grimy window she could see a figure rifling through a safe. Tall, lean, wearing all black with a hood pulled low. Maya kicked open the door. "Dmitry Volkov. You're under." The figure spun around and Maya's words died in her throat. Definitely not Dmitry Volkov. The woman before her had sharp features partially obscured by a black mask, but her eyes, dark and amused, were unmistakable. She held a velvet bag that definitely contained whatever had been in that safe. "Oh, honey," the woman said, her voice smooth like expensive whiskey. "You're looking for Dmitry? Wrong floor. He's 2 buildings over." She pointed casually with her free hand. "But I appreciate the dramatic entrance." Maya raised her taser. "Put the bag down. Now." The thief, because that's obviously what she was, tilted her head, studying Maya with unnerving intensity. "You're new. I'd remember that face." She took a step forward. "Let me guess. 3 months. For..." "Don't move." Maya's hand trembled slightly and she hated herself for it. "Relax, rookie. I'm not going to hurt you." The woman's eyes crinkled like she was smiling behind that mask. "I'm going to give you some free advice instead. That taser? Safety's still on." Maya's eyes flicked down for a split second, her fatal mistake. By the time she looked up, the thief was already moving. She vaulted over the desk with practiced ease, heading straight for the window. "Wait, stop." Maya lunged forward, but the woman was already at the window ledge. The thief paused, looking back over her shoulder. "See you around, rookie. Try not to be so obvious next time." She pulled something from her pocket and tossed it onto the desk. "Consider it a consolation prize." Then she was gone, disappearing through the window onto the fire escape. Maya rushed to the window, watching the figure sprint across the rooftop with impossible grace, leaping between buildings before vanishing into the rain-soaked night. "Damn it!" Maya slammed her fist against the wall, immediately regretting it as pain shot through her knuckles. She looked down at what the thief had left behind. A business card. Not hers but Dmitry Volkov's, with an address scrawled on the back in elegant handwriting. 2 buildings east, basement level. "You're welcome. V." Maya stared at the card, torn between frustration and curiosity. The thief had literally given her the target she was looking for. 20 minutes later, Maya had Dmitry in cuffs. The address had been accurate. The rest was textbook. And yet all she could think about was those dark, amused eyes and that maddening voice. Back at her apartment, Maya couldn't sleep. She kept replaying the encounter, analyzing every detail. The way the woman moved, professional, confident, like she'd done this 1,000 times. The way she'd read Maya instantly, seen right through her rookie nervousness. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Nice work on the Volkov collar. Told you wrong floor. Sleep well, rookie. V." Maya sat up straight, her heart racing. How did she get her number? More importantly, how did she know about the arrest? She typed back, "Who is this?" The response came immediately. "Someone who appreciates good form. Your stance needs work though. We'll discuss it next time." "There won't be a next time." "Sure there won't. Sweet dreams, Maya Chin." Maya stared at her phone, her name glowing on the screen. This woman knew who she was. Had her number. Knew where she'd been tonight. She should report this. File it with the agency. But something stopped her, curiosity maybe. Or the challenge in those words. Maya set her phone down and tried to sleep, but those eyes haunted her dreams, along with the ghost of that smooth, mocking voice. 3 days later, Maya got her next assignment: retrieve stolen medical supplies from a corporate warehouse. Good bounty, straightforward job. She spent hours planning her approach, checking security schedules, mapping exits. She reached the warehouse at 2 a.m., picked the lock on the side entrance and made her way through the darkened interior. The supplies were supposed to be in a storage room on the second floor. The door was already open. Maya's instincts screamed at her, but she pushed forward anyway, weapon drawn. Inside the room, boxes were stacked neatly, medical supplies with corporate logos. But sitting on top of the center stack was a single rose and another note. You're getting predictable, rookie. Try the north entrance next time, better sightlines. The supplies are legit, by the way. Corporate insurance fraud. You're welcome. V. Maya grabbed the note, crushing it in her fist. That woman had been here. Had beaten her to the location. And instead of taking anything she'd left, advice? What kind of game are you playing? Maya muttered to the empty room. Her phone buzzed. Not a game. Call it professional interest. You have potential. Don't waste it on obvious approaches. V. Maya's hands shook as she typed. Stop following me. Stop being so easy to predict. Make it interesting, Maya. Against her better judgment, Maya felt a smile tugging at her lips. Then she caught herself and scowled at her phone. This woman was going to be a problem. But deep down, in a place Maya wasn't ready to acknowledge yet, she realized she was looking forward to the next encounter. She just hoped next time she'd be the one leaving the note. Maya spent the next week obsessing over V. She tried searching for notorious thieves in the city database, but nothing matched. Black mask, female, athletic build, too cocky for her own good. The description could fit a dozen people or no one at all. Her supervisor, Marcus, a grizzled ex-cop with a beer gut and perpetual 5 o'clock shadow, noticed her distraction. Chin, you listening? He snapped his fingers in front of her face during their briefing. Yeah, sorry. What? I said we've got a high-value target. Jewelry heist at the Castellano estate last night. Inside job probably, but someone walked out with $2 million in diamonds. Marcus slid a folder across his desk. Multiple agencies are on this. First one to recover the goods gets the full bounty. 50,000. Maya's eyes widened. 50,000. That was life-changing money. There's a gala tonight at the Metropolitan Museum, Marcus continued. Intelligence suggests the thief might try to fence the items there. A lot of private collectors, minimal security compared to the venue. It's a target-rich environment. You want me on surveillance? I want you on this, period. You've been doing good work, Chin. Quick collar on Volkov recovered those medical supplies. Don't let this rookie streak end. Maya took the folder, her mind already racing. A museum gala. High society. If she were a thief trying to move hot jewelry, it would be the perfect cover. If she were V, she'd definitely be there. That evening, Maya squeezed into the only formal dress she owned. A simple black number she'd bought for her sister's wedding 3 years ago. It still fit barely. She traded her usual tactical gear for a small clutch that concealed her badge, phone, and pepper spray. The Metropolitan Museum glowed like a beacon in the night, its steps crowded with elegantly dressed attendees. Maya handed her forged invitation to the security guard, holding her breath. Marcus had pulled strings to get it. The guard waved her through. Inside, the museum had been transformed into a glittering wonderland. Crystal chandeliers, ice sculptures, women in gowns that cost more than Maya's yearly rent. She felt completely out of place. Champagne, miss. A waiter appeared at her elbow. No thanks. Maya needed to stay sharp. She scanned the crowd, looking for anything suspicious. Her phone buzzed. You clean up nice, rookie. The dress is a good choice. But you're standing like a cop. Relax your shoulders. V. Maya's blood ran cold. She spun around, searching the crowd frantically. Where was she? Don't bother looking. You won't find me unless I want you to. V. Maya typed back furiously. Are you here for the Castellano diamonds? Maybe. Are you here to stop me? That's my job. Then do it. If you can. V. Maya's jaw clenched. She moved through the crowd with renewed purpose, checking faces, watching hands. The gala was in the museum's main hall, surrounded by priceless art and artifacts behind velvet ropes. If he was here, she was probably scouting potential buyers or setting up a dead drop. An hour passed. Then Maya's feet ached in her heels and she'd fended off 3 separate drunk men trying to chat her up. She was beginning to think V was just messing with her when she spotted something odd. A woman in a deep red dress stood by a Monet, studying it with unusual intensity. She was tall, dark-haired, wearing an elaborate masquerade mask that covered the upper half of her face. Something about the way she carried herself, that confident posture, the fluid grace of her movements. Maya started toward her, heart pounding. The woman turned, met her gaze across the crowded room and smiled. Then she walked away, disappearing into the corridor leading to the modern art wing. Maya followed. The corridor was dimmer, quieter. Maya's heels clicked against the marble floor. She turned a corner and found herself in a gallery of contemporary sculptures. Empty except for one figure in red, standing before a twisted metal installation. You figured it out faster this time. V's voice echoed in the empty space. She still wore the mask, but Maya could see her lips, painted dark red, curving into an amused smile. The Castellano diamonds. Where are they? Direct. I like that. V turned fully to face her, and even with the mask her presence was magnetic. But you're making assumptions, rookie. My name is Maya. I know your name. V took a step closer. I know a lot about you, Maya-chan. 26 years old. Dropped out of the police academy after 8 months. Became a bounty hunter to prove you don't need a badge to do good. You live alone in a studio apartment in Riverside. You drink too much coffee and not enough water. You have a sister in Portland you call every Sunday. Maya's blood ran cold. How do you? I do my research. Another step closer. They were only feet apart now. You want to know if I have the diamonds? I don't. But I know who does. Tell me. Where's the fun in that? V reached out, her gloved fingers barely brushing Maya's arm. You want to be good at this? Really good? Then learn to read the room, not just the brief. Stop playing games. Life is a game, Maya. The sooner you learn that, the better you'll be at it. V leaned in close enough that Maya could smell her perfume, something expensive and dark. The Castellano heist wasn't about the diamonds. It was about the insurance fraud. The family needed the payout. The thief is probably in Monaco by now with their cut. How do you know that? Because I was offered the job first. I turned it down. V pulled back, studying Maya's face. I only steal from people who deserve it. That's not how the law works. The law. V laughed, low and rich. You really are adorable. Check the security footage from the estate. The break-in was staged. No real thief would leave that many traces. Maya's mind raced. If that was true, if the family had staged their own robbery. Why are you telling me this? Consider it an investment. V walked past her toward the exit. You're going to be someone interesting, Maya-chan. I can tell. Wait. Maya grabbed her arm and V froze. For a moment they stood there, Maya's hand on V's wrist, barely any space between them. Maya could feel V's pulse under her fingers, steady, unhurried. Careful, rookie, V said softly. You don't want to start something you can't finish. Who are you? V pulled free gently. Someone you're going to see again. Soon. He slipped something into Maya's hand, cold, hard metal. A gift. For luck. Then she was gone, disappearing around the corner with that same impossible grace. Maya looked down at her palm. A diamond earring. Small, elegant, probably worth thousands. And attached to it another note on thick cardstock. Check Castellano's youngest son. Gambling debts. Mono. You're welcome. V. Maya stood in the empty gallery, turning the earring over in her fingers. She should turn this in as evidence. She should report the encounter. Instead, she pocketed both the earring and the note, and headed back to her apartment to start researching. By dawn she'd confirmed it. Castellano's youngest son had gambling debts totaling $3 million. He'd been spotted in Monaco 2 days before the heist. The insurance payout was $2.5 million. V had been right. Maya sat back in her chair, exhausted but wired. That woman had essentially handed her a solved case. But why? What did she get out of it? Her phone buzzed one final time. Sleep well, Maya. Next time you'll have to work harder. V. Maya smiled despite herself, then immediately frowned. She was smiling. At a criminal who was making a fool of her. But as she finally crawled into bed, she couldn't shake the memory of V's voice, her perfume, the way those dark lips had curved when she smiled. This was going to be a problem. A big one. And Maya was pretty sure she was looking forward to it. 2 weeks passed with no word from V. Maya threw herself into work, closing 3 separate cases and earning grudging respect from Marcus. But every job she found herself looking over her shoulder, expecting to see a flash of black, a masked figure in the shadows. Nothing. Maybe V had gotten bored. Maybe Maya had imagined the whole thing. The intensity, the chemistry, the way her pulse raced whenever her phone buzzed with an unknown number. Then came the Yamamoto case. Tech mogul recently deceased, Marcus explained, laying out photos on his desk. His estate is in chaos. The will mentioned a prototype, something called Project Nightingale. Quantum encryption chip worth millions to the right buyer. The family says it's missing from his private lab. Let me guess, Maya said. They want us to find it before it hits the black market. Bingo. This one's got attention from the feds. Keep it clean. The Yamamoto estate was a fortress. High walls, security cameras, guard rotations every hour. Maya spent 2 days surveilling the property, mapping blind spots, timing patrols. She planned to go in at 3 a.m. when security was lightest. She should have known she wouldn't be the only one with that idea. Maya scaled the south wall using a grappling hook at 2:47 a.m. The grounds were dark, the main house lit only by ambient security lights. She moved between patches of shadow, her heartbeat steady now. 2 weeks of jobs had sharpened her instincts. The lab was in a separate building behind the main house. A modern glass structure that looked like it belonged in Silicon Valley. Maya picked the electronic lock, slipping inside. The lab was pristine. Workstations, servers, prototypes under glass. And in the center of the room, illuminated by a single overhead light, was a pedestal with a small black case. Too easy. Maya approached carefully, scanning for sensors, tripwires, anything. Nothing. She reached for the case. I wouldn't. Maya spun around, her hand going to her taser. V stood in the doorway, no mask this time, just a black tactical suit and that infuriating smile. Maya could finally see her whole face. Sharp cheekbones, full lips, eyes that glinted with mischief even in the dim light. Pressure sensor, V continued, nodding at the pedestal. Lift the case and you'll have 30 seconds before the silent alarm triggers and security floods this place. What are you doing here? Same thing as you, rookie. But I got here first. V walked closer, moving with that same predatory grace. Although I have to admit your approach was better this time. That grappling hook move was clean. Stop calling me rookie. Stop acting like one. V circled the pedestal, studying it. The real question is, do you trust me? Absolutely not. Smart girl. V pulled out a small device, something that looked like a phone crossed with a technical scanner. But you don't have a choice. The case is rigged. I can disable the sensor, but we'll need to move fast once I do. Why would you help me? V looked up, meeting her gaze directly. For the first time, Maya saw something serious in those dark eyes. Because the Yamamoto family isn't what they seem. The old man's death wasn't natural, and that chip? It's not just encryption. It's a surveillance backdoor that could compromise millions of devices. How do you know that? Because I was hired to steal it. V's jaw tightened. By people who want to use it for very bad things. So I'm stealing it first and making sure it gets destroyed. Maya's mind raced. The family is trying to sell it to the highest bidder. They're playing you, Maya. Playing all the agencies. Whoever recovers it becomes their delivery service. I need proof. Don't have time. V knelt by the pedestal, her device beeping as she worked. You can either trust me and we both walk out of here, or you can try to stop me and we both get caught. Your choice. Maya looked at the door, then back at V. Every instinct she'd trained said not to trust this woman. But those instincts had also been wrong before. And something in V's voice, that sudden seriousness, rang true. Fine. What do I need to do? V's smile returned, quick and bright. Knew you were smart. When I disable the sensor, grab the case. We'll have about 20 seconds before the backup alarm triggers. There's a maintenance exit on the east side. Can you run in those tactical boots? Faster than you. We'll see about that. V pressed something on her device. A soft click echoed through the lab. Yow. Maya grabbed the case. Immediately lights started flashing red. A low alarm began to build. Go go go. V was already moving and Maya sprinted after her. They burst out of the lab into the grounds. Shouting erupted behind them. Security lights flooded the area. Maya's legs pumped as she followed V's lead, weaving between gardens and sculptures. Wall northeast corner. V called over her shoulder. They reached the wall just as flashlight beams swept across the lawn behind them. V produced a grappling hook from nowhere and fired it upward. It caught with a metallic clang. You first, V commanded. What? No. Trust me. V grabbed Maya's hand and placed it on the rope. Their fingers touched for a brief moment, and Maya felt an electric jolt run through her. Climb. I'm right behind you. Maya climbed. Her arms burned, her lungs screamed, but she pulled herself up. At the top she looked back. V was seconds behind her, security closing in. V reached the top just as hands grabbed for her ankles. She kicked free and tumbled over the wall next to Maya. They landed hard on the other side, rolling in grass. For a moment they lay there, breathing hard, staring up at the night sky. That was insane, Maya gasped. That was fun, V corrected, turning her head to look at Maya. They were inches apart, faces flushed, adrenaline singing through their veins. Maya became very aware of how close they were. Of V's dark eyes studying her face. Of the way their shoulders touched. V sat up first, offering her hand. Maya took it, letting herself be pulled to her feet. Tao what? Maya asked, still holding the case. Now we verify what I told you. V pulled out her phone, tapping quickly. I'm sending you files. Emails between Yamamoto's eldest son and 3 separate black market dealers. Bidding war for the chip. Read them, then decide what you want to do. Maya's phone buzzed. She opened the files, scanning quickly. Her stomach sank. V was right. The family was selling it. The whole recovery operation was a setup. How did you get these? I have my sources. V stepped closer. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Maya looked at the case, then at V. Destroy it. Like you said. And your $50,000 bounty? Some things are worth more than money. V's smile was different this time, softer, almost proud. See? You're learning. She held out her hand. Give it to me. I'll make sure it's properly destroyed. No traces. Maya hesitated. This was crazy. She was handing evidence to a criminal. But V had been right about everything else. She placed the case in V's hands. Thank you, V said quietly. Then before Maya could respond, she leaned in and pressed a quick kiss to Maya's cheek. Same time next week, rookie? Wait. But V was already moving, disappearing into the shadows with the case tucked under her arm. Maya stood alone on the dark street, her cheek burning where V's lips had touched, her heart racing for reasons that had nothing to do with the chase. Her phone buzzed. That was good work tonight. You're getting better. Don't report the real story. Tell them the chip was destroyed in the escape. They'll believe you, V. Maya typed back. Why do you keep helping me? The response took longer this time. Maybe I like you. Maybe I see potential. Maybe I'm bored. Does it matter? V. Maya stared at her phone, a dozen responses fighting in her head. Finally she typed, it matters. Then I guess you'll have to catch me to find out. Sweet dreams, Maya. V. Maya walked back to her car in a daze. She'd just committed evidence tampering for a thief she barely knew. She'd let herself be kissed on the cheek by a criminal. She'd felt her pulse race every time their eyes met. She was in so much trouble. And the worst part? She couldn't wait to see V again. Marcus believed her story about the chip being destroyed. Maya felt guilty lying to him, but the alternative, explaining her partnership with a master thief, wasn't exactly career-enhancing. She tried to focus on regular work. Tracked down a bail jumper. Recovered a stolen car. Returned a runaway teenager to worried parents. Normal, straightforward jobs. But at night, alone in her apartment, she found herself checking her phone obsessively. Waiting for V to reach out. Wondering what she was doing, who she was stealing from, whether she thought about their rooftop escape. Whether she thought about Maya. 3 weeks passed. Nothing. Maya was beginning to think she'd imagined the whole thing when her door buzzed at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. She grabbed her taser and checked the security camera. A figure in a hoodie stood in the hallway, face hidden. Maya's heart leapt. She opened the door a crack, chain still attached. V pulled back her hood, and even in the harsh hallway light she looked unfairly beautiful. Dark circles under her eyes suggested she hadn't been sleeping. A fresh cut on her cheekbone suggested her last job hadn't gone smoothly. "We need to talk," V said without preamble. Maya should have slammed the door. Should have called the police. Instead she unhooked the chain and let her in. V walked into the small studio apartment, taking in the unmade bed, the case files scattered on the table, the half-empty coffee cups. "Cozy. It's 2 a.m. What do you want?" V turned to face her and the playful mask was gone. She looked worried. "I need your help." "My help? You're joking." "I wish I was." V ran a hand through her hair, a nervous gesture that made her seem suddenly human. "I'm in trouble. Real trouble. And I think you're the only one who can help me." Maya crossed her arms. "Why should I?" "Because despite being a thief I have lines I don't cross. And someone's trying to force me to cross them." V pulled out her phone showing Maya a photo. A young girl, maybe 8 years old, with dark pigtails and a bright smile. "Her name is Sophia. She's my sister." Maya's breath caught. "V, what's going on?" "My real name is Valentina Russo." The confession hung in the air between them. "I'm a thief. Have been since I was 16. I steal from people who don't deserve what they have and I'm damn good at it. But 3 days ago someone kidnapped my baby sister." Maya sank onto her bed processing this. "The police. Can't help. The people who took her are connected. Police, judges, politicians. They want me to steal something for them or Sophia dies." Valentina's voice cracked. "I have 5 days. What do they want?" "Files. From the district attorney's office. Evidence in a corruption case that could bring down half the city's elite." Valentina sat down next to Maya, close enough that their knees touched. "If I steal those files, innocent people go to prison. Guilty people walk free. The whole system rots a little more. But if you don't, Sophia dies." Valentina looked at Maya with raw desperation. "So I'm asking you, Maya Chin, rookie bounty hunter with a hero complex, help me find another way. Help me get my sister back without destroying everything you believe in." Maya's mind raced. This was insane. Valentina was asking her to go against everything she stood for. But that little girl in the photo. "Tell me everything," Maya said finally. Valentina did. The people holding Sophia were part of a criminal network called the Syndicate. They laundered money through legitimate businesses, owned politicians and eliminated problems. The corruption case threatened to expose their entire operation, so they were willing to do anything to make it disappear. "They contacted me because I'm the best," Valentina said without ego. "I can get in and out of anywhere. But I've never hurt innocents. Never." "How much time do we have?" 5 days. "Then they'll kill her." Valentina's hands were shaking. "I've been planning a dozen different scenarios. Every single one ends badly." Maya stood up, pacing. "Hey, let's think this through. They want the files from the DA's office. What if we give them fake files? They'll verify them. If they're fake, Sophia dies. What if we steal the real files but copy them first? Get them to both the DA and the media? Timeline doesn't work. The moment the files go missing, they'll move Sophia. We'd never find her in time." Maya thought harder. There had to be an angle, something they weren't seeing. What about the syndicate itself? Do you know where they're operating from? Multiple locations. They're too smart to keep everything in one place. But they're keeping Sophia somewhere. One location. That's a vulnerability. Maya turned to face Valentina. "We don't play their game. We find Sophia first and extract her. Then we take down the syndicate. In 5 days. Maya, these people have resources. So do we. You have skills, contacts, and you know how they think. I have access to law enforcement databases, bounty hunter networks, and I know people who owe me favors." Maya sat back down, closer this time. "We can do this. But I need you to trust me as much as you're asking me to trust you." Valentina studied her face for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Hey. Partners. Partners." Maya held out her hand. Valentina took it and they shook. But neither let go immediately. They sat there, hands clasped, the weight of what they were about to do settling between them. "Why did you come to me?" Maya asked softly. "You could have asked anyone." Because you're the only person I've met in years who still believes in doing the right thing even when it's hard. Valentina's thumb brushed across Maya's knuckles. And because when I think about who I'd want watching my back, it's you. Maya's breath hitched. They were so close now, Valentina's dark eyes searching hers, vulnerable in a way Maya had never seen. We should start planning, Maya said, but she didn't pull away. We should, Valentina agreed, but she didn't move either. For a moment they just sat there, hands linked, the space between them charged with something unspoken. Then Valentina's phone buzzed, shattering the moment. She checked it and her face went pale. It's them. They sent a video. Maya watched as Valentina played it. The footage showed Sophia in a bare room, crying, clearly terrified. A distorted voice said, "For days now. Don't disappoint us, Valentina." The video ended. Valentina's hands were shaking so hard she nearly dropped the phone. Maya took it from her gently, then pulled Valentina into a hug. For a second Valentina went rigid, clearly not used to comfort. Then she melted into it, her forehead resting against Maya's shoulder. "We're getting her back," Maya promised. "I swear to you we're getting her back." Valentina nodded against her shoulder. When she pulled back, her eyes were wet but determined. "Hey, let's do this. Where do we start?" Maya grabbed her laptop. "We start by finding out everything we can about the syndicate. Then we hunt them down and take back your sister." They worked through the night, heads bent together over the laptop, piecing together information, building a plan. And somewhere in those dark hours, as they shared coffee and stories and strategy, Maya realized something terrifying. She was falling for Valentina Russo, the thief who'd been tormenting her for weeks. The criminal who left her cryptic notes and stole her breath with a smile. And judging by the way Valentina kept glancing at her when she thought Maya wasn't looking, she might not be the only one falling. 4 days to save a little girl. 4 days to either build something real or lose everything. The game had changed. And the stakes had never been higher. By dawn, Maya's apartment looked like a conspiracy theorist's dream. String-connected photos on her wall. Laptop screens glowed with police databases and criminal records. Empty coffee cups littered every surface. Valentina stood by the window, watching the sunrise, her silhouette backlit and striking. She'd been quiet for the last hour, lost in thought. "Found something," Maya called out, and Valentina was at her side immediately. Maya pointed to her screen. 3 weeks ago, the syndicate moved a large sum through a shell company, Meridian Holdings. The transfer included a property purchase. A warehouse in the industrial district. Could be anywhere. They own dozens of warehouses. But this one had renovations done. Specifically, soundproofing and climate control. Why would a warehouse need that unless you were keeping something, or someone, there? Valentina leaned closer, studying the screen. Maya was hyper-aware of her proximity, the faint scent of her perfume mixing with coffee. "That's good. That's really good. But we can't just walk in." "No, but we can surveil it. See if Sophia's there before we make a move. And if she is? Then we plan an extraction." Maya pulled up blueprints she'd found in the city planning database. 3 entrances, all likely guarded. Roof access through a skylight. If we go in quiet, we might have a chance. Might isn't good enough. Not with Sophia's life on the line. It's better than nothing. Maya turned to face Valentina. "Look, I know you're scared. But fear makes us sloppy. We need to be smart about this." Valentina's jaw tightened, but she nodded. "You're right. Let's scout the location." They spent the day preparing. Maya called in sick to work, ignoring Marcus's suspicious tone. Valentina made a few calls of her own, speaking in rapid Italian to contacts Maya couldn't identify. By evening they had gear, night vision, communication earpieces, even a drone for aerial surveillance. "You came prepared," Maya noted as Valentina unpacked equipment in the apartment. "I've been planning for something like this since Sophia was born." Valentina's expression was haunted. "Our parents died when I was 17. Sophia was just a baby. I raised her by stealing. It was the only skill I had." She met Maya's eyes. "Every job I've done, every risk I've taken was to keep her safe. To give her a better life than I had. And now." Maya crossed the room and took Valentina's hand. "We're going to get her back." Valentina squeezed her fingers. "Why are you doing this? Really? You could turn me in right now." Collect whatever bounty's on my head. Instead you're risking everything. Because it's the right thing to do. Maya paused, then added quietly, and because I care about you. More than I probably should. The confession hung between them. Valentina's eyes widened slightly, then softened. Maya. We should go, Maya said quickly, pulling back before she did something stupid like kiss a wanted criminal in her own apartment. It'll be dark soon. The industrial district was a graveyard of rusted metal and broken concrete. Maya and Valentina parked 3 blocks away and approached on foot, dressed in dark clothing, faces shadowed. The warehouse Valentina had identified sat at the end of a dead-end street. Lights glowed from inside and 2 guards stood at the main entrance, smoking and talking. There, Valentina whispered, pointing to a fire escape on the adjacent building. We can get a better vantage point from the roof. They climbed in silence, Maya's heart pounding. At the top they crouched behind an HVAC unit and set up the drone. Valentina controlled it with practiced ease, flying it low over the warehouse. The drone's camera fed to Maya's tablet. They watched as it circled the building, capturing footage of guards, entry points, and... There. Maya grabbed Valentina's arm. Window east side. 2nd floor. The drone zoomed in. Through grimy glass they could see a small figure sitting on a cot. Dark hair and pigtails. Sivia. Valentina's breath caught. That's her. That's my baby sister. Her voice broke. She looks so small. Maya counted guards on the footage. 6 that we can see. Probably more inside. This isn't going to be easy. I don't care. We're getting her out tonight. Val, wait. The nickname slipped out naturally. We need a solid plan. If we go in half-cocked. Every minute she's in there is another minute she's terrified. Valentina turned to face her, eyes blazing. I can't leave her there overnight. I can't. Maya understood that desperation. It was the same thing that had driven her to become a bounty hunter, to help people when the system failed them. But emotion got people killed. Then we do this smart, Maya said firmly. We have 3 hours until guard shift change. That's when they'll be most vulnerable. We plan every step. No improvisation. No heroics. We get in, get Sophia, and get out. Agreed. Valentina stared at her for a long moment, then nodded. Agreed. What's the plan? They spent the next 2 hours mapping everything. Guard rotations. Blind spots. Escape routes. Maya felt the familiar focus settle over her. The same clarity she got on a good hunt. Beside her, Valentina was equally focused, her criminal expertise complementing Maya's tactical training. You're good at this, Valentina murmured at one point. So are you. We make a good team. Their eyes met in the darkness and Maya felt that electric current again. The same one that had been building since their first meeting. But there was no time for that now. At 10 p.m. they moved. Maya took point, leading them down the fire escape to street level. They circled to the warehouse's west side, where the drone had identified a service entrance with minimal camera coverage. Valentina picked the lock in seconds. They slipped inside, communicating through hand signals. The interior was a maze of crates and equipment. Voices echoed from somewhere ahead. They moved like shadows, staying low, avoiding the main corridors. Maya's heart hammered as they climbed stairs to the 2nd floor. Every creak of metal sounded like a gunshot in the quiet. The room where Sophia was being held was at the end of a hallway. One guard stood outside, scrolling through his phone. Maya caught Valentina's eye and gestured. I'll distract, you incapacitate. Valentina nodded. Maya stepped into the hallway, making just enough noise. The guard looked up, reaching for his weapon. Hey. Valentina was already moving. She dropped him with a sleeper hold before he could shout, lowering him silently to the ground. Nice, Maya whispered. Told you I was good at this. They picked the lock and pushed the door open. Sophia was huddled on the cot, eyes wide with fear. Then she saw Valentina. Val. She launched herself across the room. Valentina caught her, holding her tight, tears streaming down her face. I've got you, Stelina. I've got you. We need to move, Maya urged gently. Now. Valentina nodded, scooping Sophia into her arms. They retraced their steps, moving quickly but quietly. They were almost to the stairs when an alarm blared. Damn it. Maya pulled her taser. They found the guard. Go, go. They ran. Shouts erupted behind them. Footsteps thundered. Maya fired her taser at a guard who appeared from a side corridor, dropping him. Valentina clutched Sophia tight, running despite the child's weight. They burst through the service entrance into the night. More guards poured from the main entrance. The car. Maya sprinted toward their vehicle. Valentina was right behind her, breathing hard. Gunshots cracked the air. Maya felt something hot graze her arm but didn't stop. They reached the car, piled in, and Maya floored it. The warehouse receded in the rearview mirror. Maya took turns at random, doubling back, making sure they weren't followed. Only when they were miles away did she finally slow down. "Everyone okay?" she gasped. "We're good," Valentina said from the back seat where she held Sophia. "We're good. You're bleeding." Maya looked down. Her arm was grazed, bleeding but not serious. "It's nothing." "It's not nothing." Valentina's voice was tight with emotion. "You got shot because of me. I got grazed because I was helping a little girl. There's a difference." They drove to a safe house, an apartment Valentina kept under a fake name. Once inside, Valentina got Sophia settled with a tablet and headphones in the bedroom, then came back to where Maya sat at the kitchen table. "Let me see your arm." Maya rolled up her sleeve. The graze was shallow but messy. Valentina pulled out a first aid kit and cleaned the wound with gentle efficiency. "You've done this before," Maya observed. "Occupational hazard." Valentina's fingers were steady as she bandaged Maya's arm. "Thank you. For everything. I couldn't have done this without you." "Yes, you could have. But I'm glad you didn't have to." Valentina finished bandaging and sat back, but her hand lingered on Maya's forearm. "The syndicate knows I have Sophia back. They're going to come after us. After you two now. Then we finish this. We take them down." "Maya, these people are dangerous." "So are we." Maya turned her hand over, lacing her fingers through Valentina's. "Together we just broke into a syndicate warehouse and rescued a hostage. We can do this." Valentina looked down at their joined hands, then back up at Maya's face. "You're either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. Maybe both." A smile tugged at Valentina's lips. "I'm starting to think I like that about you." They sat there in the quiet apartment, hands linked, the adrenaline slowly fading. In the other room, Sophia was safe. Outside, the syndicate was regrouping. Tomorrow would bring new dangers. But right now, in this moment, they had one. And the way Valentina was looking at her made Maya's breath catch. "We should get some rest," Valentina said softly, but she didn't let go of Maya's hand. "We should," Maya agreed, but she didn't move either. Valentina leaned closer. "Maya." "Yeah. I'm really glad you answered the door tonight." "Me too." The space between them was nothing now. Maya could count Valentina's eyelashes, could see the gold flecks in her dark eyes. All she had to do was close that final distance. But before she could, Sophia called out from the bedroom, "Val? Can you come here?" Valentina pulled back, the moment broken. "I should go. I'll be here when you get back." Valentina squeezed her hand once more, then went to her sister. Maya sat alone in the kitchen, touching her lips and wondering what would have happened if they hadn't been interrupted. Outside, sirens wailed in the distance. The city moved on, unaware that 2 women and a little girl had just declared war on its most dangerous criminal organization. And Maya was pretty sure she was falling in love with one of them. Maya woke on the couch to the smell of coffee and bacon. Sunlight streamed through the windows. For a disorienting moment she forgot where she was. Then memory crashed back, the rescue, the warehouse, Valentina. She sat up to find Sophia at the kitchen table, coloring in a Disney coloring book, and Valentina cooking at the stove. Domestic. Normal. Except nothing about this situation was normal. "Morning," Valentina said, noticing she was awake. She looked exhausted, dark circles under her eyes suggesting she hadn't slept at all. "Coffee. Please." Valentina poured her a cup and their fingers brushed as she handed it over. That electric spark was still there. Sophia looked up from her coloring. "Are you Val's girlfriend?" Maya nearly choked on her coffee. Valentina's eyes went wide. "Sophia." Valentina's face flushed. We're not." "She slept over," Sophia said matter-of-factly. "And you're smiling at her the way you smile at your phone when you think I'm not looking." Out of the mouths of 8-year-olds. Maya hid her smile behind her coffee cup. Sophia, why don't you watch cartoons in the bedroom? Valentina suggested, her cheeks still red. Adults need to talk. Sophia rolled her eyes but gathered her coloring supplies and left. As soon as the bedroom door closed, Valentina groaned. I'm so sorry. She's very observant. It's fine. Maya set down her coffee. Val, we need to talk about what happens next. Valentina's expression turned serious. I know. The syndicate won't let this go. They'll be hunting us. Which means we need to move first. Take the fight to them. Maya pulled out her phone, showing Valentina something she'd been researching before falling asleep. The corruption case they wanted you to bury? It's being prosecuted by Assistant DA Rachel Kim. I know her, we worked together when I was in the academy. If we can get to her with information about the syndicate, about their organization and the kidnapping, we might be able to bring them down legally. They own half the police force, Maya. How do we know she's not on their payroll too? We don't. But it's a risk we have to take. Maya met her eyes. We can't run forever. And Sophia deserves better than a life on the move. Valentina's jaw tightened. She stared out the window for a long moment. You're right. I've been running my whole life. Maybe it's time to stand and fight. Then we need evidence. Everything you know about the syndicate. Names, locations, operations. I can do that. But Maya, Valentina turned back to her. Once we do this, there's no going back. Your career, your life, everything changes. Are you sure? Maya thought about Marcus, about her apartment, about the normal life she'd been building. Then she thought about Sophia's terrified face in that warehouse, about the corruption rotting the city from within, about Valentina's eyes in the darkness. I'm sure. They spent the morning documenting everything. Valentina had kept meticulous records of every job she'd turned down, every syndicate operation she'd witnessed, every dirty official she'd encountered. Combined with Maya's law enforcement connections and research skills, they built a comprehensive case. By noon, they had enough evidence to bury the syndicate 10 times over. This is good, Maya said, reviewing their work. Really good. Rachel can use this. Assuming she's not compromised. Only one way to find out. Maya pulled out her phone. I'm calling her. The conversation was brief. Rachel agreed to meet them at a neutral location, a diner on the edge of the city. Public enough to be safe, quiet enough to talk. They left Sophia with one of Valentina's trusted contacts, a grandmother type who ran a bookstore and asked no questions. Then they drove to the diner in tense silence. Rachel Kim was already there, sitting in a back booth. She was in her late 30s, sharp-suited, with tired eyes that had seen too much. She stood when Maya approached. Been a while. Rachel's gaze slid to Valentina with professional assessment. And you must be the infamous Valentina Russo. I've been trying to catch you for 3 years. And yet here I am, turning myself in. Valentina's voice was calm, but Maya could see the tension in her shoulders. They sat. Maya slid the flash drive across the table. Everything you need to take down the syndicate. Names, dates, operations. Including evidence of the kidnapping and attempted evidence tampering. Rachel picked up the drive, studying it. And what do you want in exchange? Immunity for Valentina, Maya said immediately. Full immunity for her cooperation. And protection for her sister. That's a big ask. And this is a big case, Valentina countered. The syndicate has compromised judges, police, politicians. This evidence can bring down the entire network. But I need to know my sister will be safe. Rachel was quiet for a long moment. Then she plugged the drive into her laptop and started reading. Her expression grew darker with each file. Jesus, she muttered. This is huge. She looked up at them. You're both in danger just by having this information. The syndicate has killed people for less. We know, Maya said. That's why we need to move fast. Rachel closed her laptop. Hey. Here's what I can do. I take this to the FBI. This is beyond city jurisdiction. We set up a task force, coordinate raids, take everyone down at once. But it'll take time. Maybe a week to organize. A week is too long, Valentina said. They're already hunting us. Then I put you in protective custody. Both of you plus the sister. Maya and Valentina exchanged glances. Protective custody meant being locked up, separated, unable to act. No, Maya said. We stay mobile. We know how to hide. Maya, be reasonable. Rachel, trust me on this. We'll be safer on our own. Rachel sighed. Fine. But you stay in contact. Daily check-ins. And if anything goes wrong, you call me immediately. She pulled out business cards with a number written on the back. This is my personal cell. Anytime, day or night. They left the diner separately. Maya felt like they'd accomplished something, but the weight of what they'd started pressed down on her. In the car, Valentina was quiet. You okay? Maya asked. I just handed over information that could get me killed. My sister's in hiding. I'm trusting the legal system that's been trying to catch me for years. Valentina laughed without humor. I'm fantastic. Maya reached over and took her hand. Hey, we're going to get through this. Valentina looked down at their joined hands, then at Maya's face. You keep saying we. Like you're in this with me all the way. I am. Why? It was the same question Valentina had asked before, but this time the answer felt different. Bigger. Maya took a breath. Because somewhere between chasing you across rooftops and planning heists, I stopped thinking of you as a criminal I needed to catch. She squeezed Valentina's fingers. I started thinking of you as someone I wanted to keep. Valentina's breath hitched. Maya. I know the timing is terrible. I know we're in the middle of taking down a criminal empire. But I need you to know, when this is over, I want to see where this goes. If you want that too. For a moment, Valentina just stared at her. Then she leaned across the console and kissed her. It wasn't gentle. It was desperate and fierce, months of tension and fear and wanting compressed into one moment. Maya kissed her back just as hard, her hand coming up to cup Valentina's face. When they finally pulled apart, both breathing hard, Valentina rested her forehead against Maya's. I want that too, she whispered. God, I want that too. They sat there in the parking lot holding each other, the world narrowed down to just the two of them. For a moment, the syndicate didn't exist. The danger didn't matter. There was just this. Two women who'd found something real in the middle of chaos. Maya's phone shattered the moment, buzzing urgently. She pulled it out and her blood went cold. Marcus. Calling her 17 times. Text saying call me now. Something's wrong. She dialed him back. Marcus answered immediately. Chin. Where the hell have you been? We've been trying to reach you for hours. I was following a lead. What's going on? What's going on is the FBI just raided my office looking for you. They had questions about your connection to Valentina Russo. Then I get word that you're on camera at a crime scene, the Yamamoto estate. Care to explain? Maya's stomach dropped. They'd traced her. Of course they had. Marcus, I can explain. Can you? Because from where I'm standing, it looks like you've been working with a wanted criminal. Which means I have to bring you in, Chin. I'm sorry, but I don't have a choice. Marcus, please. Just give me 48 hours. I'm working with the DA's office on something big. I can explain everything after. No. You come in now or I report you as a fugitive. Your choice. Maya closed her eyes. Her career was over. Everything she'd built, gone. I'm sorry, Marcus. I can't do that. She hung up and turned off her phone. Valentina was watching her with knowing eyes. You just burned your whole life down for me. I burned it down for us. For Sophia. For doing the right thing. Maya started the car. Now we really need to disappear. They'll be looking for both of us. As they drove away, Maya felt the weight of what she'd done. No more agency. No more legitimate work. She was officially on the run with a wanted thief, betting everything on a case that might not even go through. But when she looked at Valentina beside her, saw the way she was looking back at her with something that looked like love, Maya knew she'd made the right choice. Sometimes doing the right thing meant burning your whole world down and building something new from the ashes. She just hoped they'd survive long enough to see it. They picked up Sophia and went completely off-grid. Valentina knew places. Safe houses, hideouts, apartments rented under fake names. Maya was getting a crash course in living as a fugitive. It was harder than she'd imagined. They stayed in a warehouse loft in the industrial district, bare except for sleeping bags and supplies. Sophia seemed to think it was an adventure, making pillow forts and playing spy games. But Maya could see the worry in Valentina's eyes every time she checked the news. 3 days after meeting with Rachel, the story broke. Maya watched on Valentina's laptop as news anchors reported on sweeping FBI raids across the city. Seizures. The syndicate's empire was crumbling in real time. It's working, Maya breathed. She actually did it. Not done yet, Valentina said, scanning other windows. She had police scanners running, monitoring radio traffic. They got the mid-level players, but the leadership is still out there. Sophia was coloring at the makeshift table they'd set up. When can we go home, Val? Valentina's expression softened. Soon, Stelina. I promise. But Maya could hear the doubt in her voice. That night, after Sophia fell asleep, Maya and Valentina sat by the window watching the city lights. I've been thinking, Valentina said quietly, about after all this. What I'll do. Yeah. I've only ever been a thief. It's all I know. If I get immunity, if we actually survive this. She paused. What does Valentina Russo look like with a normal life? Maya took her hand. Whatever you want her to look like. You're smart, skilled, adaptable. You could do anything. Anything legal, you mean? Well, yeah. Maya smiled. But think about it. Security consultation. You know every weakness in every system. Companies would pay good money for that knowledge. Valentina's eyes lit up with something like hope. That's actually not a terrible idea. Or you could go back to school. Get a degree in something you actually care about. I never finished high school, Valentina admitted. Dropped out when our parents died. I was too busy raising Sophia and stealing to survive. Maya squeezed her hand. Then you could finish. If you wanted. They sat in comfortable silence, imagining futures that might actually be possible. Then Valentina turned to face her. And what about us? In this hypothetical future. Maya's heart raced. What about us? You just threw away your career for me. Your reputation. Everything. That's not nothing, Maya. No, it's not. Maya met her eyes. It means I'm all in. Whatever happens next, I want to face it with you. Valentina leaned in, kissing her softly this time. Not desperate like before, but tender. Full of promise. Maya melted into it, her hand coming up to tangle in Valentina's hair. When they pulled apart, Valentina was smiling. I never thought I'd want normal. I spent my whole life running, stealing, staying one step ahead. But with you, normal sounds pretty damn good. We just have to survive long enough to get there. As if summoned by her words, Valentina's phone buzzed. She checked it and her expression hardened. What is it? Rachel. She says they're closing in on the syndicate's leadership. There's going to be a final raid tomorrow night. But, Valentina read further and cursed. They have a mole. Someone tipped off the targets. They're preparing to run. Then we need to stop them. Maya, no. We've done our part. Let the FBI handle it. And if the mole warns them again? If they escape? Maya stood up, pacing. We've come too far to let them walk away. We've also come too far to get killed now. Then we don't get killed. We're smart. We're good at this. We can help Rachel finish this. Valentina stared at her for a long moment. Then she sighed. You're not going to let this go, are you? Would you? No. Valentina stood too. But we do this my way. Careful. Calculated. No unnecessary risks. They called Rachel, who was not happy to hear from them but listened to their proposal. The syndicate's remaining leadership was holed up in a fortified penthouse downtown. The FBI was planning a raid, but they needed eyes inside first. Someone who could confirm targets and disable security. Someone like Valentina. Absolutely not, Rachel said over the phone. Too dangerous. It's the only way, Valentina countered. I know the building, I've scouted it before for a job I turned down. I can get in and out without anyone noticing. And I'll be her backup, Maya added. Ground support, communications, extraction if things go wrong. Rachel was silent for so long Maya thought the call had dropped. Then, you're both insane. Probably, Maya agreed. But we're also your best shot at ending this. Fine. But you follow my instructions to the letter. Any deviation I pull the plug. Understood. Understood. They spent the next day planning. Valentina drew detailed maps of the penthouse from memory. Maya coordinated with Rachel on FBI positioning and timing. Sophia stayed with the bookstore owner again, promised ice cream and new books when they returned. Be careful, Sophia said, hugging Valentina tight. I just got you back. Always am, Stelina. Valentina kissed the top of her head. I'll see you tomorrow. As they drove toward downtown, Maya felt the familiar pre-mission focus settle over her. But this time it was mixed with fear. Not for herself, for Valentina. You don't have to do this, Maya said. We could still walk away. And let them win? No. Valentina checked her gear. Lockpicks, miniature cameras, a comm device that would keep her linked to Maya and Rachel. Besides, I've broken into harder targets. Name one. The Royal Museum in Brussels. 2019. Got in and out with a Vermeer they didn't even know was missing for 3 days. Maya stared at her. You stole a Vermeer? Returned it, actually. It had been stolen by Nazis in World War II. I just gave it back to the rightful owners. Valentina grinned. See? Not all bad. Despite the tension, Maya smiled. You're full of surprises. You have no idea. They parked 3 blocks from the target building. Maya set up in a van Rachel had provided, surrounded by monitors and communication equipment. Valentina would go in through the service entrance, working her way up to the penthouse level. Comm check, Maya said into her headset. Loud and clear, rookie. Valentina's voice came through perfectly. Miss me already? Just don't do anything stupid. Stupid is my specialty. Maya watched on the monitors as Valentina approached the building. Even on grainy security footage, she moved with that distinctive grace. She picked the service door lock in under 10 seconds and disappeared inside. I'm in, Valentina reported. Heading to the stairwell. Copy that. FBI is in position. You have 20 minutes until they breach the front. Maya watched her progress on hacked security cameras. Valentina moved like smoke through the building, avoiding guards, disabling cameras as she went. She was breathtaking to watch. Every movement efficient, purposeful. Penthouse level, Valentina reported. Confirming 4 targets in the main room. Setting up cameras now. Maya's screens lit up with new feeds. Tiny cameras Valentina was placing to give the FBI eyes inside. She could see the syndicate leadership now. 4 people in expensive suits, arguing over papers spread across a table. Planning their escape. Got them, Maya confirmed. Rachel, are you seeing this? Confirmed. Rachel's voice joined the channel. All targets accounted for. Russo, get out of there. We're moving in. Copy. Heading to wait. Valentina's voice changed. Shit. What? What is it? On the camera feed, Maya saw a 5th person enter the room. Her blood ran cold as she recognized the face. Marcus. Her former supervisor. Marcus is the mole, Maya breathed. Oh my God, he's the mole. And he just spotted my camera, Valentina said urgently. They know someone's here. Maya, they're locking down the building. On the monitors, Maya watched as steel shutters started closing over windows. Guards poured into hallways. Rachel, you need to move now. Maya shouted into the comm. Breach team is go. Rachel ordered. But Maya was already moving, grabbing her gear and running for the building. She couldn't leave Valentina in there. Not with Marcus. Not with the syndicate. She hit the service entrance just as explosions echoed from the front of the building. FBI breaching charges. Inside was chaos. Alarms blaring, people running. Maya fought upstream, heading for the stairs. Val, where are you? Top floor. But they've locked down the penthouse access. I'm trapped. Maya's heart hammered as she climbed stairs, taking them 3 at a time. Her legs burned. Her lungs screamed. She kept climbing. At the penthouse level, she found Valentina trying to bypass an electronic lock on a steel door. On the other side, they could hear gunfire, FBI engaging the syndicate guards. Move, Maya said, pulling out her taser. She jammed it into the lock panel, shorting it out. Sparks flew and the door clicked open. They burst through into a war zone. FBI agents were advancing through the penthouse, trading fire with syndicate guards. Through the chaos, Maya spotted Marcus trying to escape through a side door. There. She pointed. They ran after him, dodging between cover. Marcus saw them coming and drew his weapon. Chin. Don't make me do this. You kidnapped a child, Marcus. Maya shouted back. You sold out to criminals. It's over. It's not over until I say it is. Marcus fired. The bullet whizzed past Maya's ear. She dove behind a column, Valentina beside her. "We need to separate him from that exit," Valentina said. "You go left, I'll go right. When he turns to track you, I'll take him down." "No. Too dangerous." "Maya." Valentina grabbed her face, forcing eye contact. "Trust me. I've done this 1,000 times." Maya wanted to argue, but the look in Valentina's eyes, confident, assured, made her nod. "Hey. On 3. They counted together. On 3, Maya broke left, drawing Marcus's fire. Valentina went right, moving with blinding speed. Marcus turned to track Maya, and Valentina hit him from behind, taking him down with a textbook tackle. By the time Maya reached them, Valentina had Marcus pinned, his weapon skittering across the floor. "It's over," Valentina said coldly. FBI agents swarmed in, taking Marcus into custody along with the other syndicate members. Rachel appeared, surveying the scene with satisfaction. "Hell of a night," she said to Maya and Valentina. "Is it over?" Maya asked. "Really over? The leadership's in custody. The organization's dismantled." "It's over." Rachel looked at Valentina. "As promised, full immunity for your cooperation. You're free." Valentina's knees nearly buckled. Maya caught her, holding her up. "It's over," Maya whispered. "We did it." Valentina turned in her arms, eyes shining with unshed tears. "We're free." They stood there in the demolished penthouse, surrounded by FBI agents and arrested criminals, holding each other. It wasn't the romantic ending Maya had imagined. It was better, earned, real, covered in plaster dust and triumph. Rachel cleared her throat. "You two should probably get out of here. Press is going to swarm this place." Maya and Valentina didn't need to be told twice. They left together, hand in hand, walking out of the building into the cool night air. The city spread out before them, full of possibility. No more running. No more hiding. Just life waiting to be lived. "So," Valentina said as they walked toward their car. "What do we do now?" Maya looked at her, this brilliant, infuriating, beautiful woman who'd turned her world upside down, and smiled. "Now, we go get Sophia. We find a real apartment. And we figure out what normal looks like." She squeezed Valentina's hand. "Together." Valentina smiled back, and it was like the sun coming up. "Together sounds perfect." 3 months later, Maya woke up to sunlight streaming through actual curtains in an actual bedroom. Not a safe house. Not a warehouse loft. Their apartment. Valentina was already awake, sitting by the window with a laptop, frowning at something on the screen. She'd started taking online classes, finishing her high school equivalency first, then planning to pursue a degree in computer security. "You're staring," Valentina said without looking up, but there was amusement in her voice. "Can't help it. You look cute when you're studying." Valentina finally looked over, and the soft smile she gave Maya made her heart skip. "Coffee's ready. I made your favorite." Maya padded to the kitchen, still marveling at the domesticity of it all. Their apartment was small but cozy, a 2-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. Sophia had the second bedroom, decorated with posters of her favorite anime characters. The living room had mismatched furniture they'd collected from thrift stores, but it was theirs. The past 3 months had been a whirlwind. After the syndicate takedown, Maya's name had been cleared. Rachel had vouched for her, explaining the undercover work she'd been doing. The agency offered her job back, but Maya had declined. She'd started her own private investigation firm instead, legitimate work helping people the system overlooked. Valentina had become her partner in more ways than one. "What are you working on?" Maya asked, carrying 2 mugs of coffee back to the bedroom. "Security audit for that tech startup downtown. Found 3 major vulnerabilities in their system." Valentina accepted the coffee gratefully. "Legitimate work is actually kind of fun." "Who you? How's the pay compared to stealing priceless art?" "Terrible. But I sleep better at night." Valentina pulled Maya down to sit beside her. "Well, when I actually sleep." Maya caught the implication in her tone and grinned. They'd been taking things slow, or trying to. But living together, building a life together, the tension had been building for weeks. Before Maya could respond, Sophia's voice called from the other room. "Val." "Maya. I'm going to be late for school." Valentina groaned. Saved by the 8-year-old. They went through their morning routine, making breakfast, packing Sophia's lunch, arguing about whether she needed a jacket. She just didn't want to admit it. Maya drove Sophia to school while Valentina finished her security audit. At the school drop-off, Sophia turned to Maya before getting out. "Are you coming to my recital tomorrow? Wouldn't miss it. Val and I will both be there." Sophia smiled, then hesitated. "Maya? Thank you. For everything. For helping Val save me. For staying with us." Maya's throat tightened. "Hey, you're stuck with me now. That's what family does. Is that what we are? A family?" Maya thought about Valentina, about their little apartment, about morning coffee and security audits and school drop-offs. "Yes, Delina. I think that's exactly what we are." Sophia hugged her tight, then bounced out of the car and ran to join her friends. Maya drove back to the apartment, her chest warm. She'd never planned for this, any of this. But somehow, chasing a thief across rooftops had led her to something she hadn't even known she was looking for. Home. When she got back, Valentina had finished her work and was standing in the kitchen looking nervous. "What's wrong?" Maya asked immediately. "Nothing's wrong. Valentina took a breath. "I got an offer today. A really good one." Maya's stomach dropped. "An offer? From a security firm in Seattle. They want me to head their penetration testing division. 6 figures, full benefits, the whole package." Valentina met her eyes. "It's everything I'd been working toward." That's amazing, Val." Maya forced a smile even as her heart cracked. "You should take it." "I said no." Maya blinked. "What? Why?" "Because my life is here. Sophia's school is here. My girlfriend is here." Valentina crossed to her, taking both her hands. "I'm not running anymore, remember? I'm building something. And I don't want to build it anywhere but here with you. Val, that's a huge opportunity. So is this." Valentina gestured between them. "Maya, 3 months ago I was a wanted criminal with no future. Now I have a home. A family. A woman I'm completely in love with." She paused, eyes widening slightly at her own words. "I mean..." "Say that again," Maya interrupted, her heart racing. "I have a home. After that..." Valentina's nervous expression melted into something tender. "I'm completely in love with you." Maya pulled her close, kissing her deeply. "I love you too. So much. And if you want to take that job, we'll figure it out. Long distance, or maybe Sophia and I could..." "No." Valentina cupped her face. "I want this. Here. I already told them I'm not interested." "You're sure?" "I've never been more sure of anything." They stood there in their little kitchen, holding each other, the morning sun painting everything golden. Maya felt the last piece of her old life, the part that had been running, searching, unsatisfied, finally settle into place. "So what now?" she murmured against Valentina's lips. "Now. I have another security audit this afternoon. You have that missing persons case. Tonight we pick up Sophia, order pizza, and watch whatever anime she's currently obsessed with." "Sounds perfect." "It really does." Valentina pulled back slightly, smiling. "Who would have thought? The bounty hunter and the thief playing house. We're not playing. This is real. The realest thing I've ever had." They kissed again, slower this time, savoring it. Maya's phone buzzed, probably her 2 o'clock client, but she ignored it. Some things were more important than work. Like this. Like them. Like the family they were building from the ashes of their old lives. Later, as Maya was preparing to leave for her meeting, Valentina stopped her at the door. "Hey. I know we've been taking things slow. With Sophia here and everything being new." She bit her lip, suddenly shy. "But maybe this weekend we could ask your sister to watch Sophia for a night? Have the apartment to ourselves." Heat flooded through Maya. They'd been dancing around this for weeks. Stolen kisses, interrupted moments, tension that built every time they were alone. "I think that sounds like an excellent idea," Maya said, her voice lower than intended. Valentina's eyes darkened. "Yeah. Definitely yeah. It's a date then." Valentina kissed her once more, quick but promising. "Now go catch your bad guys. I'll be here when you get back." Maya left the apartment, walking on air. Her phone buzzed again, this time a text from Rachel asking if she wanted to grab drinks later. They'd become friends over the past months, bonding over war stories and terrible police coffee. The missing persons case took most of the afternoon. A teenager who'd run away from an abusive home. Maya found him at a youth shelter and helped connect him with social services. It was good work. Important work. The kind that reminded her why she'd wanted to be a cop in the first place. He texted Valentina an update. Found the kid. He's safe. Home by 6. The response came immediately. My hero. Bringing dinner. Love you. Those 2 words still made Maya's stomach flip. Love you. Said so casually like it was the most natural thing in the world. As it was. They'd fought for this, for the right to say those words to build this life. And Maya would never take it for granted. She stopped at a flower shop on the way home, buying a bouquet of wildflowers. When she got to the apartment, Valentina was at the stove, cooking something that smelled amazing. She'd changed into comfortable clothes, leggings and an oversized sweater that Maya recognized as her own. Those for me? Valentina asked, noticing the flowers. Might be. Maya presented them with a flourish. For the most beautiful former thief in the city. I'm probably the only former thief in the city. Still the most beautiful. Valentina laughed and accepted the flowers, arranging them in a vase. You're such a romantic. Who you? I'm full of surprises. They had dinner together, just the 2 of them. Sophia was at a friend's house for a sleepover. The conversation flowed easily, comfortable. They talked about work, about Sophia's upcoming recital, about weekend plans. After dinner they ended up on the couch, Maya's head on Valentina's shoulder. Some movie playing that neither was really watching. I still can't believe this is my life, Valentina said softly, her fingers playing with Maya's hair. Good different or bad different? The best different. Valentina pressed a kiss to the top of Maya's head. A year ago I was alone. Running jobs, raising Sophia the best I could, but always looking over my shoulder. Now I have you. I have stability. I have a future that doesn't involve constantly running. Maya tilted her head up to look at her. No regrets? About the old life? Not even a little. Valentina smiled. Well, maybe I miss the adrenaline sometimes. The thrill of the heist. We could always go skydiving. Or I could just kiss you. That gets my heart racing pretty reliably. Oh yeah. Maya shifted, straddling Valentina's lap. Prove it. Valentina's hands settled on Maya's hips, eyes darkening with want. Careful what you ask for, rookie. Still calling me that? Always. Valentina pulled her down into a kiss that was anything but careful. It was hungry, demanding, months of tension finally unleashed. Maya kissed her back just as fiercely, her hands tangling in Valentina's hair. They'd been so cautious, so careful with Sophia in the next room, with life still settling into place. But tonight they were alone and Maya was done waiting. She pulled back just enough to gasp. Bedroom? Bedroom, Valentina agreed, already standing with Maya wrapped around her. They stumbled down the hall, laughing between kisses, bumping into walls. It was messy and perfect and everything Maya had been dreaming about. In the bedroom, with the door closed and the city lights filtering through the curtains, they finally stopped rushing. Valentina laid Maya down gently, hovering over her. You sure about this? She asked softly. Once we start, I'm not going to want to stop. Maya pulled her down. Then don't. What followed was tender and passionate and everything Maya had imagined and more. Valentina took her time, learning every inch of her, making her gasp and arch and forget her own name. Maya returned the favor with equal devotion, tasting the salt on Valentina's skin, feeling her shake and come apart beneath her hands. Afterward they lay tangled together, breathing hard, the sheets twisted around them. So, Maya said when she could speak again. That was... yeah. Valentina's laugh was breathless. Really, yeah. We should have done that months ago. Good things are worth waiting for. Valentina traced patterns on Maya's bare shoulder. Although I vote we don't wait that long again. Agreed. Maya snuggled closer. I love you. I love you too. Valentina kissed her temple. My rookie-turned hero. Your partner. My everything. They fell asleep like that, wrapped around each other, safe and sated and home. The next morning Maya woke first. She took a moment just to watch Valentina sleep, her dark hair spread across the pillow, her face peaceful, one hand still resting on Maya's hip even in sleep. This was worth it. All of it. The chase, the danger, burning her old life down. It had all led here, to this moment, to this woman. Valentina's eyes fluttered open. You're staring again. Can't help it. Creep. But she was smiling. What time is it? Maya checked her phone. 8. We have to pick up Sophia by 10. That gives us time. Valentina pulled Maya closer, kissing her neck. I have some ideas about how to spend it. Maya's laugh turned into a gasp as Valentina's hands started wandering. You're insatiable. You love it. I really do. Later, showered and dressed and feeling thoroughly satisfied, they picked up Sophia from her sleepover. The little girl chattered excitedly about her night, oblivious to the knowing looks Maya and Valentina kept exchanging. That evening was Sophia's recital, a school production where she played a flower in some elaborate musical number. Maya and Valentina sat in the audience, holding hands, watching with proud smiles as Sophia performed with complete seriousness. She's so good, Maya whispered. She really is. Valentina squeezed her hand. Thank you for being here. For being part of this. Where else would I be? After the recital, they took Sophia out for ice cream to celebrate. Sitting in the little shop, watching Sophia devour a sundae while telling them every detail of the performance, Maya felt a contentment she'd never known before. This was what she'd been searching for. Not glory or recognition or proving herself. Just this. A family messy and unconventional but real. Earth to Maya. Valentina waved a hand in front of her face. Sophia asked you a question. Sorry, what? I asked if you and Val are going to get married, Sophia repeated, completely matter-of-fact. Maya choked on her water. Valentina went very still beside her. Sophia. Valentina's face was bright red. That's not, we haven't. It's okay if you are, Sophia continued, completely unbothered. My friend Emma has 2 moms and they're married. I think it would be cool. Maya and Valentina stared at each other across the table, both clearly thinking the same thing. It's way too soon for that conversation. They'd only been together a few months. They were still figuring things out. But looking at Valentina's flushed face, at the hope and fear mixing in her eyes, Maya realized something. It didn't feel too soon. It felt inevitable. Not now. Not today. But someday. We'll see, Stelina, Valentina said finally. But whatever happens, we're a family. The 3 of us. Okay. Okay. Sophia went back to her ice cream satisfied. Under the table, Valentina found Maya's hand and squeezed. Maya squeezed back, a silent promise. Someday. They drove home together, Sophia falling asleep in the back seat. Valentina carried her inside while Maya locked up the car. In Sophia's room, they tucked her in together, a coordinated dance they'd perfected over the past months. Sweet dreams, Stelina, Valentina whispered, kissing her forehead. Maya did the same. Night, kiddo. They left the door cracked and retreated to their own bedroom. As soon as the door closed, Valentina grabbed Maya and kissed her hard. She wants us to get married, Valentina said between kisses. Kids say the darndest things. Maya. Valentina pulled back, serious now. Does that freak you out? The idea of long term. Forever. Maya cupped her face. Val, I chased you across half the city. I burned down my career for you. I fell in love with you somewhere between rooftop escapes and takedown raids. Does it sound like I'm planning to go anywhere? No, but marriage is. Something we don't have to think about right now. We have time. Maya kissed her softly. But for the record, someday when we're ready, I'd marry you in a heartbeat. Valentina's smile was radiant. Yeah. They fell into bed together, not to sleep but to hold each other, to whisper promises and dreams and all the somedays they'd earned the right to plan for. Outside, the city hummed with life. Somewhere out there, other bounty hunters were chasing other thieves. Other people were running from their pasts or toward their futures. But here, in this small apartment with mismatched furniture and anime posters on the walls, Maya Chin and Valentina Russo had found something rare. Home. And they'd fought too hard for it to ever let it go. 6 months into their new life, everything was perfect. Which is exactly when the past decided to make an appearance. Maya was at her office, a small space above a coffee shop that she shared with a divorce attorney, when her phone rang from an unknown number. Chin Investigations. Is this Maya Chin? The voice was male, older, with a slight accent she couldn't place. Who's asking? My name is Thomas Ashford. I'm an art recovery specialist based in London. I'm calling about Valentina Russo. Maya's blood went cold. How did you get this number? I make it my business to know things, Ms. Chin. Please, I mean no harm. I have a proposition that I think would interest both you and Ms. Russo. Every instinct screamed not to trust this. But curiosity won. I'm listening. Not over the phone. Meet me tonight. 7 p.m. The Riverside Park Fountain. Come alone or bring Ms. Russo. Your choice. But I promise you'll want to hear what I have to say. He hung up. Maya stared at her phone, debating. He should ignore it. They'd built a good life. They didn't need complications. But something in Ashford's voice had sounded genuine. And Maya's investigator instincts were screaming that this was important. He called Valentina. Hey, beautiful, Valentina answered, and Maya could hear the smile in her voice. What's up? We need to talk. In person. Can you meet me at the office? The smile disappeared from Valentina's tone. What's wrong? I don't know yet. But someone from your past just called me. 20 minutes later, Valentina walked into Maya's office looking worried. Maya explained the call. As she talked, Valentina's expression shifted from concern to recognition. Thomas Ashford. I know that name. Valentina sank into the chair across from Maya's desk. He's legitimate. One of the best art recovery specialists in the world. Works with insurance companies, private collectors, sometimes law enforcement. Why would he want to talk to you? I have no idea. I never crossed him. Hell, we were on the same side most of the time. I returned stolen art, he recovered it legally. Valentina bit her lip. But if he tracked me down, it must be important. So we go. We go. They arrived at the park at 6:50, both tense. The fountain was in a public area, well lit and populated enough to be safe. They spotted Ashford immediately. A distinguished man in his 60s, silver hair, expensive suit, holding a leather portfolio. He stood when he saw them approaching. Ms. Russo. Thank you for coming. Let's skip the pleasantries, Valentina said coldly. What do you want? Direct. I appreciate that. Ashford gestured to a nearby bench. Please sit. This will take some explaining. They sat, though Maya kept her hand near her pepper spray and Valentina's posture was coiled, ready to run or fight. Ashford opened his portfolio, pulling out a photograph. Have you heard of the Sforza collection? Maya hadn't, but Valentina's breath caught. The Sforza collection was lost during World War II, Valentina said slowly. Renaissance paintings, sculptures, jewels. Worth hundreds of millions. Most people think it was destroyed. Most people are wrong. Ashford pulled out more photos. 3 months ago we received credible intelligence that the collection survived. It's being held by a private collector in Prague. A man named Viktor Koval. And you want me to steal it, Valentina said flatly. No. I want you to help us recover it legally. Ashford met her eyes. Koval has connections. Political protection. Traditional channels have failed. But we believe that with the right team, we could infiltrate his compound, document the collection, and provide enough evidence for an international seizure. Why not just send an Interpol? Because Koval has early warning systems for any official movement. We need someone who can get in and out unnoticed. Someone with your particular skill set. Ashford turned to Maya. And we need someone with law enforcement credentials to ensure any evidence gathered is admissible. Someone like you, Ms. Chin. Maya and Valentina exchanged glances. I'm retired, Valentina said. I don't do this anymore. I'm aware. And I respect your decision to go legitimate. But Ms. Russo, this collection belongs to the world. It's part of human heritage. And it's sitting in the private vault of a man who made his fortune in arms dealing and human trafficking. Valentina's jaw tightened at that last part. The payment would be substantial, Ashford continued. $250,000 each. Plus, I can guarantee that your role would be completely legal and protected. You'd be working as contractors for the recovery operation. That's a lot of money, Maya said quietly. It's a dangerous job. But I've followed your career, Ms. Russo. You're the best I've ever seen. And Ms. Chin, your work taking down the syndicate was impressive. Together you could do this. We need to think about it, Valentina said. Of course. I'm staying at the Grandview Hotel through the weekend. Room 412. If you decide to take the job, come find me. If not, this conversation never happened. Ashford stood, handing Valentina a business card. For what it's worth, I hope you say yes. The world needs people like you, people who know how to bend rules without breaking what matters. He left them sitting by the fountain, his portfolio forgotten on the bench. Valentina picked it up, flipping through the photos of the Sforza collection. Paintings by Raphael and Botticelli. Sculptures that belonged in museums. $250,000 each, Maya said. That's life-changing money. I know. Valentina closed the portfolio. We could pay off Sophia's college fund. Buy a real house. Maybe even that beach property you were looking at. But we built a life here. A normal life. Taking this job means going back to that world, even if it's legal. Valentina met her eyes. I don't know if I want that. They walked home in silence, the portfolio heavy between them. That night, after Sophia was asleep, they sat on their small balcony overlooking the city. I keep thinking about those paintings, Valentina admitted. They belong in museums. They belong to everyone. And they're just sitting in some war criminal's vault like trophies. But is that our problem to solve? Maybe not. But we could solve it. We're the only ones who could. Valentina turned to face her. What do you think? Really? Maya was quiet for a long time. I think a year ago I would have said yes immediately. Adventure, justice, all that. But now. She gestured to their apartment, to the life they'd built. I don't want to risk this. Us. Neither do I. Valentina took her hand. But Maya, that money. We could give Sophia everything. Good school. College without debt. Security. She already has security. She has us. I know. But, Valentina's voice cracked slightly. I spent my whole childhood without security. Always hungry, always scared. I swore Sophia would never feel that. And this could guarantee it. Maya understood then. This wasn't about adventure or proving anything. This was about a 17-year-old girl who'd raised her baby sister by stealing, who still had nightmares about not having enough. Okay, Maya said. If we do this, if we do it smart. Full planning. Exit strategies. And if at any point it feels wrong, we walk away. Deal. Deal. They met with Ashford the next day. He laid out the details. Koval's compound was in the Czech countryside, disguised as a winery. Heavy security but predictable. The collection was in a vault beneath the main house. Their job was to get in, photograph everything, plant tracking devices, and get out. Interpol would handle the rest. How long would we be gone? Valentina asked. 1 week. Surveillance and planning, then the job itself. Maya thought about Sophia, about leaving her for a week. But Valentina's sister called every Sunday. Maybe she could come stay with her? They spent the next 2 days debating, planning, arguing. Finally, they made their decision. We're in, Valentina told Ashford. But we have conditions. Name them. We work together. No splitting up. We make all tactical decisions. And if we say it's too dangerous, we walk away with no penalty. Agreed. They told Sophia they had a work trip, which was technically true. Her eyes lit up when they said she'd get to stay with her favorite aunt for a week. Will you bring me back something cool? Sophia asked. The coolest, Maya promised. A week later they were on a plane to Prague. As the city disappeared beneath them, Maya felt the familiar pre-mission butterflies mixed with something else. Excitement. She glanced at Valentina, who was studying case files with intense focus. Even in her legitimate consultant role, she was in her element. You miss it, Maya said. Don't you? Valentina looked up, caught. Then she smiled, small and honest. Maybe a little. Not the running, not the danger. But the challenge? The puzzle of it? Yeah. I miss that. Think you can still do it? It's been almost a year. Valentina's smile turned confident. Rookie, I could do this in my sleep. Question is, can you keep up? Maya laughed. Guess we'll find out. Prague was beautiful. All Gothic spires and cobblestone streets. They met with Ashford's team. A tech specialist named Yuki, a former Interpol agent named Marcus, different Marcus thankfully, and a documents expert named Sarah. They spent 3 days surveilling Koval's compound. It was exactly as Ashford had described. A sprawling estate disguised as a winery with tours for tourists and a private residence where Koval actually lived. The vault is here. Yuki pointed to blueprints they'd acquired. Underneath the wine cellar. Biometric lock, probably motion sensors, definitely cameras. I can get past the biometrics, Valentina said confidently. But we'll need a distraction to cover our approach. Leave that to me, Marcus said. I can arrange a wine tasting that goes long. Keep security busy while you two work. They planned for 2 more days, mapping every detail. Maya felt the old focus returning, the same clarity she'd had as a bounty hunter, but sharper now. Better. Because she wasn't alone. She had Valentina beside her, and together they were unstoppable. The night of the job, they dressed in dark clothes and approached the estate after hours. Marcus had done his job. Half the security was dealing with drunk tourists who didn't want to leave. Maya and Valentina slipped through the shadows like they'd done it 1,000 times. And in a way they had. All those chases, all those near misses had prepared them for this. At the wine cellar entrance, Valentina picked the lock while Maya kept watch. Inside, they descended into darkness, following the blueprint's path. The vault door was massive, high-tech, impressive. Valentina studied it for a moment, then grinned. This is going to be fun. You're insane. You love it. Maya did. God help her, she did. Valentina worked her magic, using tools and techniques Maya didn't fully understand. 20 minutes later, the vault door clicked open. Inside was breathtaking. Paintings lined the walls. Sculptures stood on pedestals. Jewels glittered in display cases. The Sforza collection, lost for 80 years, sitting in a war criminal's private museum. Let's get to work, Maya whispered. They photographed everything, planted tracking devices exactly as instructed. It was methodical, careful work. No room for error. They were almost done when they heard voices above. Guards doing rounds. Time to go, Maya said urgently. They sealed the vault, retraced their steps, and slipped out of the wine cellar just as flashlights appeared at the far end. They ran through the vineyard, hearts pounding, until they reached their extraction point. In the car, breathing hard, they looked at each other and started laughing. We did it, Valentina gasped. Holy shit, we actually did it. You doubted us? Never. The evidence they gathered led to an international seizure within days. Koval was arrested. The Sforza collection was recovered and would be returned to Italy, then displayed in museums around the world. And Maya and Valentina returned home to Sofia with $250,000 payments in their accounts and a wild story they could never tell. Did you have fun on your trip? Sofia asked when they picked her up. The most fun, Valentina said, catching Maya's eye. But we're glad to be home. And they were. Because as thrilling as the job had been, nothing compared to this, to Sofia's hug, to their apartment, to the life they'd built. That night, curled up in bed, Maya asked, would you do it again? If Ashford called with another job? Valentina was quiet for a moment. Maybe. If it was the right cause. If we could do it together. But Maya? This is enough. You, Sofia, this life. I don't need the thrill anymore. I have everything I want right here. Maya kissed her softly. Me too. They'd proven they could still do it, could still chase adventure and win. But they'd also proven something more important. They could build something real and choose it, every day, over anything else the world had to offer. And that was the greatest heist of all. 2 years after the Sforza job, Maya stood in their new house. A real house with a yard and a ridiculous mortgage, watching Valentina teach Sofia how to pick a lock. For educational purposes only. Valentina called when she saw Maya's expression. Sure, Maya said, but she was smiling. Life had settled into something beautiful and mundane. Maya's investigation firm was thriving. Valentina had gotten her degree and now ran a successful security consultation business. Sofia was 10 now, still doing theater, still asking impossible questions. And Maya and Valentina were happy. Truly deeply happy. You have mail, Valentina said, coming inside and handing Maya an envelope. Looks official. Maya opened it and froze. It was from the district attorney's office. A formal commendation for her work taking down the syndicate. And an invitation to speak at the police academy graduation about alternative paths to justice. They want me to speak, Maya said, stunned. At my old academy. You should do it. Valentina read over her shoulder. You have an important story to tell. Do I? Hey kids, I dropped out, became a bounty hunter, fell in love with a criminal and burned my career down for justice? Sounds pretty inspiring to me. Maya thought about it. Maybe Valentina was right. Maybe their story, unconventional as it was, could help someone who didn't fit the traditional mold. She accepted the invitation. 3 weeks later, she stood at a podium facing rows of fresh-faced cadets. Valentina and Sophia sat in the audience, grinning at her. I'm not going to tell you to follow the rules, Maya began. I'm not even going to tell you the rules are always wrong. What I'm going to tell you is that justice is complicated. It's messy. And sometimes doing the right thing means coloring outside the lines. He told them about becoming a bounty hunter. About chasing a thief across rooftops. About learning that not all criminals were bad and not all heroes wore badges. 2 years ago I had to make a choice, Maya said. Between my career and doing what was right. I chose right. And I lost everything. My job, my reputation, my future as I'd imagined it. She paused, looking at Valentina and Sophia. But I gained something better. A partner who challenges me. Family I chose. Work that actually matters. And the knowledge that I can look at myself in the mirror and be proud of who I am. The cadets were silent, listening. So my advice. Be good cops. Be ethical. But also be human. Remember that the people you're pursuing, the people you're helping, they're all just people. Complex, flawed, trying their best. After her speech, several cadets came up to talk to her. One young woman, barely 20, pulled her aside. Thank you, she said quietly. I've been struggling. I'm queer and I wasn't sure if there was a place for me in law enforcement. But hearing your story, it helps. Maya's throat tightened. There's a place for you anywhere you decide to make one. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. In the parking lot, Valentina pulled her into a hug. You were amazing up there. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for being here. Always. Valentina kissed her softly. Come on, we have one more stop to make today. We do. We do. Valentina had that mischievous look in her eyes. The same one she'd worn when leaving Cryptic Notes 2 years ago. They drove to the waterfront, to the same pier where Maya used to run after work, back when she was still a rookie bounty hunter chasing an impossible dream. Valentina led her to the end of the dock, where the city skyline reflected in the water. Do you remember the first night we met? Valentina asked. In that warehouse? How could I forget? You told me my safety was on. It was. Valentina smiled. You were so determined. So sure of yourself even though you had no idea what you were doing. I knew right then you were going to be trouble. Good trouble or bad trouble? The best trouble. Valentina took both of Maya's hands. Maya-chan, you chased me across rooftops. You trusted me when you had no reason to. You burned down your whole life to save my sister and do the right thing. You've given me a family, a home, and a reason to be better than I ever thought I could be. Maya's heart started racing. Sophia was filming on her phone, grinning widely. Valentina dropped to one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. I know we've talked about this. I know Sophia's been asking for 2 years. But I wanted to make it official. She opened the box, revealing a simple silver band with a small diamond. Will you marry me? Maya's vision blurred with tears. You're asking me to marry you at the place where I used to run? Where I was chasing bad guys and trying to figure out my life. I'm asking you to marry me at the place where your journey led you to me. Valentina's voice was thick with emotion. So what do you say, rookie? Want to make this partnership permanent? Maya pulled her up, kissing her hard. Yes. Yes, absolutely yes. Sophia cheered. A few people walking by applauded. Valentina slipped the ring on Maya's finger and it fit perfectly. I love you, Maya whispered against her lips. I love you too. Always have, from that first night when you kicked open that door looking terrified and determined. They stood there on the pier holding each other while Sophia took approximately 1 million photos. The city stretched out around them. The same city where they'd chased each other, fought together, built a life together. So, Valentina said eventually. Big wedding or small? Small. Just as Sophia, the people who matter. Perfect. Although Sophia's already planning. Fair warning. Maya laughed. I wouldn't expect anything less. They drove home as a newly engaged family, Sophia chattering about wedding dresses and flowers and whether she could wear a tuxedo. In the house they'd bought together with the life they'd built, Maya felt a completeness she'd never known was possible. That night, after Sophia finally went to bed still talking about the wedding, Maya and Valentina sat on their back porch, sharing a bottle of wine. Thomas Ashford called today, Valentina said casually. Oh. Another job. Stolen artifacts from a museum in Cairo. He wants the dream team. Maya turned to look at her. And? I told him I'd think about it. Discuss it with my fiancé. Valentina smiled at the word. What do you think? Maya considered. They had financial security now. Sophia was thriving. Their businesses were stable. They could take a week away for an adventure. What's the pay? 300,000. Each. Maya whistled. That's a lot of money. It is. But honestly, I don't need the money. I need the adventure. I miss working with you in the field. Valentina took her hand. But only if you want to. This life, this normal boring life is more than enough for me. Maya thought about the thrill of the Sforza job. The rush of working together perfectly in sync. The satisfaction of returning stolen art to where it belonged. Let's do it, she said. One more job. Then we plan a wedding. One more job, Valentina agreed. But Maya? Even if we do 100 more jobs, even if we spend the rest of our lives chasing adventures together, you're the greatest thing I ever stole. You didn't steal me. I came willingly. Best surrender I ever witnessed. Valentina pulled her close. Thank you. For saying yes. For building this life with me. For being exactly who you are. Thank you for leaving those cryptic notes. For challenging me. For showing me what I was really looking for. Maya kissed her softly. I was chasing you, but I was really chasing this. Home. Love. Partnership. Found it though, didn't we? We really did. They sat under the stars, engaged in love and planning their next adventure. Because that's what they were now, partners in every sense. In business, in crime fighting, in parenting, in life. The rookie bounty hunter and the master thief. Who would have thought? The wedding had been small and perfect. Just family and close friends at a beach ceremony. Rachel had been Maya's best woman. Yuki and Marcus had flown in from Prague. Sophia had worn the tuxedo she wanted, walking both of her mothers down the aisle. Now Maya Chinrusso sat in her office, looking at the photo on her desk. Her, Valentina and Sophia on their wedding day laughing in the sunset. They'd done 3 more jobs with Ashford over the years, each one a success. But more importantly, they'd built a life. Sophia was 13 now, applying to prestigious high schools and still doing theater. Valentina's security firm had expanded. She had 5 employees now. And Maya's investigation agency had become one of the most respected in the city. Her phone buzzed. A text from Valentina. Dinner at 7? I have news. Maya smiled. Good news or bad news? Interesting news. You'll want to hear this in person. At home that evening, Maya found Valentina and Sophia already at the table, looking conspiratorial. Okay, what's going on? Valentina poured her a glass of wine. So, remember how I told you I'd retired from field work? That the Ashford jobs were just for fun? Yes. I might have lied. A little. Valentina pulled out a folder. I've been consulting with the FBI. Helping them recover stolen artifacts and art. Totally legal, totally above board. But they just offered me a full-time position. Director of Art Crime Recovery. Maya blinked. The FBI wants to hire you? A former thief. A reformed thief with unparalleled expertise. Valentina grinned. It's a legitimate position, Maya. Good pay, federal benefits, the whole thing. I'd be helping recover stolen cultural heritage, training agents, consulting on cases. Everything I love about the work, none of the illegal parts. That's amazing. Are you going to take it? Only if you're okay with it. It would mean some travel. Maybe you and I could work cases together sometimes. Your investigation skills plus my art knowledge. Maya looked at her wife. Her brilliant, complicated, beautiful wife who'd gone from wanted criminal to respected professional. Who'd taken everything she'd been good at and turned it into something that helped people. You should absolutely take it. Yeah. Valentina's face lit up. Yeah. You've earned it. And honestly, the FBI getting you is the best heist you've ever pulled. Valentina laughed. I was thinking the same thing. Sophia cleared her throat. Since we're sharing news. I got accepted to the Performing Arts High School. Both mothers immediately started talking at once, congratulating her, asking questions. The conversation dissolved into happy chaos, the way family dinners always did. Later, in bed, Maya curled up against Valentina. "We did pretty good, didn't we?" Maya said. "For a bounty hunter and a thief. The best." Valentina kissed her forehead. "Although technically, you're a private investigator and I'm a federal consultant now. Same difference. We're still chasing bad guys. Together. Always together." Outside, the city hummed with life. A million stories, a million chases, a million people looking for something. Maya and Valentina had found what they were looking for in each other. Everything else, the house, the careers, the family, was just the beautiful aftermath of two people who'd decided to stop running and start building. "Hey Val." "Yeah. I'm really glad I kicked open that warehouse door 3 years ago." Valentina's laugh was soft and warm. "Me too, rookie. Me too." Maya closed her eyes, wrapped in her wife's arms, in their home, in the life they'd fought for and built together. The chase was over. They'd both won. And the prize was everything they'd never known they needed. Each other, a family, and a love story that had started with cryptic notes and rooftop chases and ended with forever. Some stories end with the hero catching the villain. This one ended with them catching each other. And living happily ever after. The end.